Welcome to Off the Shelf with Christine and Katie. So our favorite holiday, Halloween, has come and gone. Sad. But that doesn't mean the vibes of this great season have gone away. The cold weather is just beginning. Spooky vibes are still here. And so, that means for our book selections.
So, for those who don't know, November is National Mystery Month. You could probably tell by our decor. And who doesn't love a good mystery? The whodunits, cozy mysteries, locked room murders, and noir are just a few examples of the numerous types of the mystery genre.
Yes.
So, settle in, grab a cup of your favorite beverage, and enjoy these recommendations. Let us know in the comments what you thought of these picks. If you have any titles to add, trust me, we always need more.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel if you want to be notified of future videos. Buttons right down there on the bottom.
Yes, we do a lot of weird things, so enjoy. But, as always, let's get to those books.
All right. So first we decided to start off with, a classic mystery.
Because who doesn't love those?
Exactly. Classic mysteries revolve around a detective, and they can be an amateur or professional, who solves a crime using logical reasoning. Clues are dropped throughout so the readers can attempt to solve as well, with the answer not being revealed to the end of the book. Anything by Agatha Christie and the Sherlock Holmes books by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, they fit this type.
Perfectly.
Yes. Now here's a new release we're really excited about. It's called Marple, 12 New Mysteries by multiple authors. If you're feeling a little nostalgic, you can travel back to a simpler time when polite and proper Miss Marple solved crimes. Reminds me of Murder, She Wrote.
Oh, yeah, she's so similar.
12 legendary mystery writers, including Lucy Foley, Karen McManus, are going to present their short stories starring Miss Marple. We love many of the authors that are going to be featured in this book, and we can't wait to see what they're going to do with Miss Marple.
Yes, we love her as a character. We highly recommend this book as well, which gives you an insight to her character, and the TV show is also great.
Awesome. That's awesome.
The other genre we would like to explore is one we've talked about before, but it's mystery thrillers. And it is a popular form of mysteries. These stories are full of twists and turns that keep your stories that keep you on your toes, wondering what will happen next. And the first one we want to recommend is Secluded Cabin Sleep 6 by Lisa Unger. And it is a new book, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay. And it is about 3 couples who rent a luxury cabin in the woods of Georgia. With the threat of a hurricane, hidden motives come to light, affairs are revealed, and a dark secret is unearthed, culminating in murder.
Always murder, always dark secrets.
Always. And this thriller also has locked room mystery aspects, so another one of our genres.
We'll talk about a little later.
Yes, should be a lot of fun. Okay.
Next up we have The Resemblance by Lauren Nassett. Now this is also another new release. On a chilly November morning at the University of Georgia, a fraternity brother steps off a busy crosswalk and is struck dead by an oncoming car.
Uh-oh.
Boom. More than a dozen witnesses all agree on 2 things. The driver looked identical to the victim, and he was smiling. Detective Marlette Kaplan is first on the scene. In the course of investigating this hit and run, she will uncover more chilling secrets as she explores the sprawling, interconnected Greek system that entertains and delights the university's most elite and connected students.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
And also there are so many titles that we could recommend in here, such as Verity by Colleen Hoover, Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn, Stranded on a Train by Patricia Highsmith, a classic, and Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, just to name a few, but they're all classics, all great. But please check out our video linked here to find out more about these titles. We've talked about it before, so we didn't want to redo it, but we highly recommend you check that out. They're worth your time.
Absolutely. Next up.
All right, next we got a great genre for you.
This is the noir hard-boiled mysteries. This is a subject that I've just become introduced to as being a mystery.
She didn't know it existed before I told her about it.
I heard of these books, but did not realize that it was its own separate thing. Both of these mysteries feature world-weary detectives exposed to the seedy underbelly of society. The characters and plots do tend to be a bit darker, possibly a bit more violent. So a few of the titles we have to try is, first of all, Postman Always Rings Twice by James Caan. Frank Chambers is a drifter who lands at a roadside gas station owned by Nick Smith and his young blonde wife, Cora. Frank and Cora soon begin an affair and fall in love, as one does. When they then decide to plot and murder Nick, her husband, and seize all his assets. When they succeed, local prosecutor Kyle Sackett becomes very suspicious, but is unable to build a solid case. However, the couple soon realizes that no misdeed ever goes truly unpunished.
Especially in a noir.
Exactly.
All right, and the next one
we have here is Double Indemnity.
Also by James Caan.
Both of them are in this one
Yes.
book here. It's actually a pretty good pick if you like this topic.
Yes, there's a bunch in here. So this is about insurance salesman Walter Hoff has long since fantasized about a method where one could bilk an insurance company for a bundle of cash and not be found out. Bad start.
Yeah.
When he meets seductive and amoral Phyllis Nerdlinger, sorry about that, who has reasons for wanting her husband dead, Walter falls into her arms and into her scheme.
Dun,
Dun, dun, dun. This is highly one to check out.
Okay.
And the next one we want to recommend also is The Maltese Falcon by Dashiell Hammett. It is also a really great movie, but it is about Sam Spade is a partner in a private eye firm who finds himself hounded by police when his partner is killed while tailing a man. The woman who asked his partner to follow the man, since he turned out to be someone who is not who she says she is, and is really involved in something to do with the Maltese Falcon, dun dun dun, and a golden-crusted life-size statue of a falcon, the only one of its kind.
Yeah, so as if you can't figure out from the description, this one is full of like lots of little subplots, little twists, turns, this, that, and whatever going on.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
All right, and the next one we're going to recommend is
Big Sleep and Farewell, My Lovely by Raymond Chandler. So The Big Sleep is the first novel that features private detective Philip Marlowe. Very famous private eye. He is hired by a wealthy family, and before the complex case is over, he's seen murder, blackmail, and what might even be love.
Maybe.
So it's kind of similar to that Maltese Falcon, and there's a lot of different things going on.
Exactly.
So the second novel that features Marlowe as a detective is Farewell, My Lovely. And this has ex-con Moose hiring Marlowe, just like that name,
Yes.
to find his long-lost girlfriend, Velma, who is a lounge singer. The lounge owner's wife says she's dead, but Marlowe remains very skeptical. Meanwhile, Marlowe is also going on a routine ransom exchange for a necklace and gets knocked out and framed for murder, as one does. He eventually finds the necklace's owner, but more importantly, evidence that these two cases are actually connected.
Yes.
So, another one of the things I kind of noticed with some of these these noir is very intricate plots.
Yes. They don't do it lightly. They have a lot of intricate plots.
A lot of different things going on.
Yes, they love that. And the next one we want to recommend is called Winter's Bone by Daniel Woodrell. And this mystery is set in the Ozark Mountains of Missouri. And is about Ree Dolly's father has skipped bail on charges that he ran a crystal meth lab, and Dolly's will lose their house if he doesn't show up for his next court date. With the two brothers depending on her, 16-year-old Ree knows she had to bring her father back, dead or alive.
Now, I guess that one might even, I don't know how secluded it is, but it might fit that whole locked
It might,
mystery.
or at least like in a very remote location.
Yes, which actually leads us to our next subcategory, locked room mysteries. This is actually one of my favorite types of mysteries, I guess because everything takes place in one spot.
Yes.
So in a locked room mystery, the crime, and it's usually a murder, takes place under a set of seemingly impossible circumstances in a location that has been sealed off from the outside world. Think of like a remote island, mansion estate, possibly up in the mountains there. Some of our picks we have here, we're going to go back to one of our classic authors with Murder on the Orient Express. And in this, an American tycoon lies dead in his compartment, stabbed a dozen times. His door is locked from the inside. Who could have done this?
Exactly, locked room.
Isolated and with a killer in their midst, Detective Hercule Poirot must identify the murderer in case he or she decides to strike again.
Dun dun dun.
Speaking of striking again.
Yes, speaking of striking again, our next recommendation is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. And it is 1939. 10 strangers are invited to Soldier Island, an isolated rock near Devon coast. Cut off from the mainland with their generous host, Mr. and Mrs. UN, Owen mysteriously absent, they are accused of a terrible crime. When one of the party dies, suddenly they realize they may be harboring a murder amongst their numbers. And Bills, as a remaining guest, realize the killer is not only among them, but preparing to strike again and again. This is one of the classics.
Yes, I love this one.
Yes.
And for a modern take on And Then There Were None, we have Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. After years of avoiding each other, the Darker family is assembling for Nana's 80th birthday party in Nana's crumbling Gothic house on a tiny tidal island.
Seems to be a trend.
Yes. When the tide comes in, they will be cut off from the rest of the world for 8 hours. Each member arrives with their own secret, and then at the stroke of midnight, as the storm rages, Nana is found dead.
Dun, dun, dun.
And an hour later, the next family member follows. Full of clever twists, this one is sure to leave you reeling.
All right, and the next one we want to recommend is The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. And it's about a group of friends gathered to celebrate New Year at a hunting lodge in Scotland. And it isn't long before one of them meets their end. And this is a highly enjoyable and addictive whodunit full of suspense, secrets, and surprises.
And actually, this was one of Lucy Foley's first books.
Yes.
So it's kind of what put her on the map as the locked room type author.
Yes, and then we also read her sequel book, which is also very good.
Yes. All right, next up we have a newer book called The Club by Ellery Lloyd. Envisioned as a luxurious home away from home for the very important people, the Home Group is a collection of several celebrity member clubs dotted across the globe where the rich and famous can party hard, far away from the prying eyes of the media and their fans. The event of the decade is Island Home, a forgotten island, once again, transformed into the height of luxury. But the weekend soon proves deadly because it turns out that even the most beautiful people can keep the ugliest secrets, and they'll do anything to keep them secret. If your name is on this invite list, you're not getting out. This was a Reese's Book Club pick, and it is perfect for fans of Big Little Lies.
The next category that we want to talk about is foreign mystery books. And obviously they have been translated from around the world, but here are a few mysteries that have been traded to English that we really like. And the first one we recommend is the Millennium series, aka Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, by Stieg Larsson and David Lagerkrantz. This is a Swedish crime mystery series whose primary characters in the saga are Lisbeth Salander, an asocial computer hacker with a photographic memory, and Mikael Blomkvist, an inquisitive journalist and the publisher of a magazine called Millennium. They're really great, a little bit graphic at times, but they're a great mystery.
Yes.
Unfortunately, he only wrote the first 3 books, and then he sadly passed away, and then David Lagerkrantz took over the rest of them, but the first 3 are highly great in the series, so I highly
Most people
recommend.
recommend the first 3, but if you want to finish out the rest of the story,
yes, there's 2 more after that.
Pick up the others after that. Alrighty, next up we have Ice Princess by Camilla Lockberg. And in this noir mystery, Erica Flock returns to her tiny remote hometown in Sweden after her parents' deaths, only to encounter another tragedy, the suicide of her childhood best friend, Alex. It's Erica herself who finds Alex's body suspended in a bathtub of frozen water with her wrist slashed. Erica teams up with a local detective to find answers because my guess is she doesn't believe it was a suicide.
Probably. So, if you're interested, check this out. The next one we want to recommend is called the Department Q series by Jussi Adler-Olsen. And it is a Danish hard-boiled noir mystery series featuring Carl Morak, a brilliant but disheveled detective. He was involved in a police raid gone bad and now has lost confidence of his superiors. When the government asked the police to set up a department to investigate cold cases, they see this as a perfect opportunity to push Carl aside and set him up as the head and only detective of one department. My dream. Leave me alone. The books have a dark but twisted crimes, and worlds are insecure, full of action and suspense, and Carl is a lot of fun, so if you want to do this, but no, it's a little bit gory at times, but it's a good read. Carl's a lot of fun as well as his assistant.
His assistant, I love his assistant. He's great.
We love his assistant, so we highly recommend
his assistant who started off as his janitor.
Yes, it was great.
Next up, we have The Honjin Murders by Seshi Yoki-miso. This Japanese locked room mystery is the first book to feature Kosuke Kendachi, a detective who is reminiscent of Sherlock Holmes. In the winter of 1937, the village of Okamoro in rural Japan prepares for the forthcoming wedding of Kenzo, who is the eldest son of the Grand Ichiyanagi family, to his fiancée Katsuko. Both Kenzo and Katsuko are found dead the next morning in their little room on the compound, locked from the inside, no footprints leading away in the snow. How did this murder happen and how did they get away? This is the first in a 77-book series featuring Kasuko Kendachi as the detective, and he's a really quirky character. I liked him a lot.
He's a very quirky cop, and he's in most of the other, I think, 77 novels. Yeah. But these have also just been recently translated into English, so I'm very looking forward to reading
more
the
of
other
them.
ones.
They're a short, quick read if that's something that you're into.
Yes, I believe this book was about 185 pages, but it was a very quick read, but a lot of fun read. The cop is really fun, and it's worth your time.
So enjoy.
And for those who don't know, MTPL actually does already have a mystery book club. Mm-hmm. I am the host, but she is also a member of our group. So we just thought we'd take this opportunity to show you a little bit of our favorite books from this year. So a couple of our favorites this year have been The Crooked House by Agatha Christie, The Poacher's Son by Paul Dorian, The Tenant by Katrin Enberg, The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman, and this is a series, and also The Murder in Old Bombay by Neve March, who will be coming to speak here in January. She has also since written a sequel and is working on another one.
Yeah, these were all well received. Everyone in the book club, we absolutely love these books. So
yes,
give them a try.
And if you're interested in us, please feel free to check out our group. There's more information on our website. But other than that,
so those are our mystery picks. I'm sure we've missed some, just because there's just absolutely so many.
Yes.
Please feel free to comment and let us know your favorites. If there's anything, if you like any of these books or not. And feel free to join us next month when we are going to go over some staff picks, our library staff's favorite books from 2022 that they really enjoyed and hope you enjoy too. But until then, happy reading and take care.
Bye.
Bye.